Okay, hello. This is Dragon Ball Super. What if Ryan or me was in Dragon Ball? So, we're starting off at the Tournament of Power. So, basically, the team is everybody for Universe 7. The team is everybody, but instead of Frieza, it's me. And I realized that Frieza probably would not be getting revived. So I was a bit disappointed by that because I wanted to test out Final Form Frieza and when he got revived, and I also wanted to test out his full strength. But I remembered that the Namekian Dragon Balls would probably be able to revive him, so I still held out a little bit of hope. I know it sounds a bit weird, but yeah. So, the tournament's a wash, as you can probably tell. Because by this point, I have a mastery over Mastered Ultra Instinct. But there's one difference in Universe 6, since it's supposed to be the mirror universe of Universe 7. So, yes, everything is very similar. But Jiren, because I don't even have to go into Ultra Instinct. Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Kaioken, along with Goku and Vegeta both working together to beat Jiren. Yeah, if I even had to go into Ultra Instinct, I'd really just have to go into Omen for like a couple seconds to beat him. But yeah, but then I sensed a key that was millions of times stronger than Jiren. And I realized that it was not, and I realized that that's not supposed to be possible. In fact, I realized that whoever this was millions of times stronger than probably even Moro, which completely shocked me. So I readied myself for a full-on duel where where he would probably have the advantage, and and he burst open his aura, and as I flashed into Super Saiyan Gold, which at this point I had figured out how to get a mastery over Super Saiyan Gold, and he laughed and said, well, looks like you're a mirror version of me. And I realized, of course, if this happened to me, then the universe with a mirror version of everything would probably have one of me too. I said, so you seem pretty strong. And he laughed and said, yeah, I'm probably stronger than you. As everybody else in the entire arena was completely wiped off, other than Goku and Vegeta, who Goku flashed into Ultra Instinct because of just the pure power that was getting coursing through him, and the fact that I'd give him some training and he could actually use Ultra Instinct Omen at will, so he went into Ultra Instinct Omen again, and he just had enough energy to avoid a Ki Blast from Jiren, who had tried to hit him, which probably would have knocked him off the edge, as he was right next to the edge when he flashed into Ultra Instinct. So yeah, it was currently Vegeta's at Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, which yay, good for him. But Goku's at Omen, and I'm at Super Saiyan Gold, and I said, and then he laughed and said, you might be a slight challenge. I said, yeah, well, you want to see my full power Super Saiyan Gold? And he said, what's that? As he punched me in the stomach, faster than I could even process, but I powered up into my full power, Super Saiyan Gold, and then a godly aura that almost felt like the Ultra Instinct Goku was using surrounded me, and he was shocked, because my power had basically multiplied itself to be decently close to his power. He laughed and said, well, you have a strong power, but is it enough to defeat me? He tried to punch me. I dodged. Tried to punch me again. I dodged. But then he finally hit a punch, and he said, "Huh. So it's like you have this extra power and ultra instinct. Congratulations!" He shouted as he went Super Saiyan blue and punched me, and I was shocked to realize that his power level was so powerful that that he figured out how to get Super Saiyan blue, and that he could completely destroy me with it. So I collapsed as he kept filling me, and he said, "This is the end, and I will win, and I will get what I want." And I realized that this version of me, or at least that's what I assumed it was, wouldn't be wishing for every universe. He'd be wishing for him to be stronger than Zeno, so that he could kill Zeno. At least that's what I guessed. And he could read my mind, which shocked me. He said, well, you know what my wish is gonna be." And if it's not what, and because Zeno promised I would need to get my wish before he destroyed me, and then I'd be too fast for him. And I growled and said, "What the heck?" As I powered up even further, each punch was somehow giving me more power. As everyone else was watching the fight, and it was 6 minutes into the Tournament of Power. Only 6, and everybody, including Jiren, was knocked off, other than me, a different version of me, Goku and Vegeta, who were the only two that were strong enough to actually be comparable to my power, even if barely. I kept showcasing my power, as every punch he did made me seem to increase my strength by 2 times. So he laughed as my strength was starting to multiply itself a little slower, and Beerus was shocked that and even Whis was shocked to realize that I'd surpassed every god destruction and every angel, and I was still losing. Super Saiyan Blue was more than enough to keep me on the ropes, and I could not win. I was fighting with every ounce of my strength, and I was still losing. I was barely holding on to the fight as I screamed out in outrage and exploded my power just enough to knock him away. And I instantly dropped down into Master Ultra Instinct. Yes, drop down sounds weird, but I pushed myself back into my limits, forcing myself back into full power Super Saiyan Gold, which was draining my energy a lot quicker than Super Saiyan Gold was. Much like how Frieza, in his 100% final form, had a lot of energy drain. But I was still keeping up, and I was getting stronger each punch, until eventually I basically teleported faster than the Kai, which was used by the Kais, obviously. Faster than the Kai. It was so fast in my teleportation that he tried to punch me, and I was behind him before he threw the punch. Or at least that's what it seemed like. He saw me move. He saw me teleport, and he realized that it was teleportation. And he registered this before he felt a punch on his back, launching him forward, and then launching backward as he saw me standing with my leg in a knee. So I kneed him, and he was shocked. He tried to punch me. I dodged, and then I teleported behind him, firing an Ultra Blast. Ultra Blast! And it would send him flying, and he landed on one of the pieces of rock, and he realized that, and he shattered right through it, but flew up, and we both realized at the same time that we were flying. we were exerting so much pressure that we could fly. And everybody else was shocked as I kept pushing. He said, well, you can beat me? And I said, this is Ultra Super Saiyan Gold! As my voice exploded along with my ki, he was getting pushed back just by my aura until he powered up into Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, then Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Kaioken, and he started to keep up with my attacks more. And I was wearing down a lot. I couldn't keep this up forever, and I knew it. I knew that it would all come down to this. And I said, fuse! And nobody knew what that meant other than Goku and Vegeta. They were the only ones that knew what that meant, and they thought for a while and said, are you sure? And I said, it might not help a lot, but it will help. And they said, but Kefla was, and I said, I know, it doesn't matter. Let's go! As I shouted, my power exploded once more, pushing him back. But he wasn't struggling as much. And I realized that if I fell out of this form, if I fell back down into even full power Super Saiyan Gold, no matter how much damage he'd sustained, he would still be able to beat me. So I started teleporting around, dodging his attacks, teleporting out of the way of attacks I couldn't dodge. And every time every second I wasted, I could count towards my death. So I was hitting him as much as I could. And he was laughing and saying, you can't win. As he burst his aura open, his hair flickered white, and his eyes flickered into gold, and his hair went back down to black, and he smiled and said, well, it looks like I've accessed a form strong enough to surpass you. And he tried to hit me, but I teleported out of the way. Then he slammed his elbow back and elbowed me in the face. And that was the first hit I'd taken during the battle. I was shocked. The pure power he was exploding shocked me to the brim. And I knew that if they weren't able to fuse, if they couldn't do it, and I told Beerus, throw the Patara! And I thought about saying that, but they didn't. I said, use the better way of using. And they smiled as they pulled out an earring. And both put it on their opposite ear, and they were thrown together, and their power exploded. Not to my degree, not to his degree, not even close, but still, they would definitely help. As Vegeta flew up and started attacking, he turned into his strongest form, Ultra Instinct, and then his hair turned white as he entered Mastered Ultra Instinct. Vegeta had done it. He had mastered the form that even Goku had struggled with. I was barely fighting him at this point. I was almost hurting just to dodge an attack. So, with all my energy, I screamed at the top of my lungs, powering up to the maximum, and then I shouted, Kaioken! Times 12. As I had different control over the Kaioken, and I'm assuming even Goku could have done Kaioken times 12. But anyway, it was such a big power-up that Vegito teleported back in to me just before getting teleported out of the arena because of how fast it was. Everybody on every team was shocked because everyone was flying now. It was supposed to be impossible for people to fly, but every single combatant left on the field, which were basically 3, it wasn't that much, but still, 3 people were flying without wings, without any special abilities, and they were devastating. Each time our fists clashed, the arena would shake and start to crumble apart even more. And each time we punched one, we missed, a shockwave ran through and destroyed part of the arena. We were going to fall to the benches if we hit the ground. Which also meant that we had to keep our power going up. He couldn't fly in base. None of us could fly in base. None of us could fly up until our maximum power was keeping us afloat. And we were still running out of energy, and we were all exhausted. But Vegito, he was about to get destroyed, and he powered up to his maximum and sent the energy to me. Everybody, either on the field or not, that was a part of our team, and even some of the other teams, sent me energy as I bellowed and my scream echoed and I exploded. I said, "This is the divine form of Super Saiyan Gold. I will name this Divine Super Saiyan Gold." And this was enough to turn the tides of the battle. He had been winning. He thought he'd won by kicking out Vegito, but in reality, he was losing. I punched him in the stomach, teleporting around, and he at this point, he'd realized that whenever I'd teleport back to where I was. But when I was in this form, sometimes I was teleporting back, only if that meant I could get more hits on him. I could control if I teleported back or not. So I was winning. He was losing. I could do it. But then my head flashed with pain, and I realized that I couldn't hold this form for long. I saw Goku, and I saw a Potara earring next to him. He had not fallen out. He had landed on one of the small pieces. I dropped to the ground next to him, and he tried to rush in, but I picked up a Potara, and Goku, who still had his on his ear, and we flung together, and the Divine Super Saiyan Gold power was shared between a new fighter, who and then a new voice shouted, "We are Gojitan!" And he laughed and said, "That's not that great of a name, but still." And we flung at him, and he was getting destroyed. He had given enough energy to us that together we could defeat him. As he flashed into base, he was going to land on something, but then a single ki blast exploded half the arena. As he fell, we fell onto the only piece of the arena left and unfused out of pure exhaustion and how much energy we expended. We had done it. We had saved the universes. As I was decided to have been the MVP, I instantly wished for the universes to be restored. And then he coughed. The other me coughed and said, in the stands, "How are you so powerful?" And then I said, I shouted, "Hey, if you get stronger, then we'll fight again one day." And he said, "And when that day comes, I will defeat you, and I will rule the multiverse." And I said, "Not likely." And I shot Goku a thumbs up, and as I made my wish, and finally, the Tournament of Power was over. And obviously this is part 3. I was going to make this a 3-part series, then I remembered, oh wait, I kind of want to make some episodes shorter. So yeah, I'm going to put in later. I'm actually going to put in a better thing, and it's going to basically be the Moro arc, and I'm gonna make the Granola arc after that. And if there are any extra arcs, I'm gonna add to this story, and I might make other what ifs if because these are some of the most popular videos I'm making. So, uh, thank you for watching. Uh, anyway, that's all. Also, I'm not gonna organize these because I'm deleting most of the files to save space on my laptop. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching this video, and if you stayed to the end, you're a legend. Thanks and bye.